Hey.
Welcome back to Lab Squad. I know I say this a lot. It seems like I say this a lot lately, but as you can tell, we're not in the library.
Nope.
We're actually at Glenwood Park, and the reason we're here is because we're going to talk about little microscopic creatures called tardigrades, but we're also going to show you how, if you have a microscope, how you can actually go out and find samples of them yourself. To get started, we're going to go ahead and just talk about tardigrades and what they are. You might have heard them referred to as water bears or moss piglets.
Yes.
They're very, very, very small. They're microscopic, but they are multiple celled animals, so they are animals. They're not bacteria or anything like that. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to read this list of facts. This is not even close to all of the really cool facts that you can find about tardigrades. We just didn't list them all because we would be here all day. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let Matt read some of these off to you.
Okay.
And then we will show you how to find your own samples.
Well, you've already done the first one. Tardigrades, often called water bears or moss piglets, are near microscopic animals, which means they're so small that you have to, well, you can see them with the naked eye, but it's better to use a microscope.
Technically, there are reports of people that have been able to see them with magnifying glasses, but we don't recommend even trying that because I'm telling you, they are small, so try to use a microscope.
They have 8 legs and hands with 4 to 8 claws on each hand. There's over 1,000 known species. That's a lot.
That is a lot. That's really
not as many as ladybugs, which 6,000 species.
Oh, wow.
They can range from 0.05 millimeters to 1.2 millimeters, which is like 0.002 to 0.05 inches long. They usually don't get any bigger than 1 millimeter, which is 0.04 inches long. Water bears can live just about anywhere. They prefer to live in sediment at the bottom of a lake, on moist pieces of moss, or other wet environments. They can survive a range of temperatures and situations. Research has found that tardigrades can withstand environments as cold as minus 328 degrees Fahrenheit or highs of more than 300 degrees, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. They can also survive radiation, boiling liquids, massive amounts of pressure, up to 6 times the pressure of the deepest part of the ocean, and even the vacuum of space without any protection. In many conditions, they survive by going into an almost death-like state called cryptobiosis. They curl into a dehydrated ball called a ton by retracting their head and legs. If reintroduced to water, the tardigrade can come back to life in just a few hours. They basically get rid of all the moisture in their entire body and shrivel into a little ball. And then once there's more water, the moisture goes back into them and they come back to life. While in cryptobiosis, tardigrades' metabolic activity gets as low as 0.01% of normal levels, and their organs are protected by a sugary gel called trehalose?
I think
trehalose? Yeah.
Yeah. Trehalose, trehalose. I think that's how you.
Sort of like an antifreeze based on sugar.
Yeah.
Tardigrades eat fluid to survive. They suck the juices from algae, lichens, and moss. Some species are carnivorous and even cannibals. They can prey on other tardigrades. So they eat pretty much anything.
Yeah. So based on everything we just told you, you've probably got the general idea. They're survivalists. They are really tough. They're tough as nails, and they can survive pretty much anywhere. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and show you guys how to find samples of these little critters. And like we said, they're called moss piglets, and they're called moss piglets because they like to hang out on moss. And I thought of all the places in Mercer County, and the one place where there's a ton of moss is up here in the back of Glenwood Park. So you can see the ground that we're standing on, moss everywhere.
Everywhere.
So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna grab some samples, and you don't have to do this here. Just
Anywhere you can find moss.
Anywhere you can find moss, or even lichens. They live on lichens, don't
Yep,
they?
they
Yeah,
live on lichens too. Yeah.
So, you know, if you want to do this, just go out in your backyard and just try to find a good mossy spot or some lichens or anything like that. So, let's see. Let's find a good spot here. Let's see.
I'm using a pill bottle.
Yeah, we're just using like a regular
As a
pill bottle. You don't need any special type of container or anything. Just something you can seal up real good. Let's see. And we're just grabbing some moss. Not doing anything special. Just grabbing a big old hunk of moss.
That's a lot.
It is. This might be too much for our bottle. It's actually very dried out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go ahead and stick this in here.
But luckily, tardigrades can dry out and be okay.
Yeah, and
just let it soak in water.
yeah. So we left our water bottle in the car, so we're not going to show you that step. But the next step would be to take water, and it has to be distilled water, right?
Probably distilled, non-treated water.
Yeah, so just your regular bottled water. You don't want to use tap water or anything like that. And
if you do use tap water, let it set out for at least 24 hours before you use it.
So the chemicals can
Evaporate.
yeah. But then you're just going to fill this up with water, and I believe we have to let it set for about 24 hours, I think, to make sure that the tardigrades that are on there have plenty of time to rehydrate. And then once they rehydrate, they'll start, you know, swimming and crawling around. And they do like to crawl. They have little claws on the ends of their legs, and they crawl. It's really cool. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go for now. The next part of the video, we're going to splice in some some video footage of a tardigrade under a microscope. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up right now.